If you go into a clothing store, you don't think it's strange to find something that fits you. If there are enough different sizes, something is bound to be just right. We live in a universe that's just right. Is this because it's been designed for us? Or are there a huge number of universes and one of them is bound to fit? God or the multiverse?
Somebody who writes about these things, and I found very helpful, is a philosopher called John Leslie. He tells a story about an execution. You are about to be shot, your eyes are bandaged, there are 50 highly trained marksmen pointing rifles at your chest, the shots ring out, you find you have survived. Now, of course, what do? Do you just stroll away saying, gee, that was a close one? Of course, if you hadn't survived, you wouldn't be in a position to say anything at all. But it's so remarkable a fact that you survived the execution that surely the only rational thing is to say, well, maybe more was going on there than I realized. And so Leslie suggests there are really only two possible general explanations of your good fortune. One is maybe there are just lots and lots and lots of executions taking place today. And of course, even the best of marksmen occasionally miss. You happen to be in the one where they all miss. Now, of course, there had to be a lot of executions taking place today, but at least it's a rational possibility. But there's another rational possibility, which is that maybe there's only one execution today, namely yours, but more was going on in that than you were aware of. The marksmen were on your side, and they missed by design. Now, that charming story, that parable, if you like, translates into thinking about the fine-tuning the universe. On the one hand, you could say, well, maybe there are just trillions and trillions and trillions of different universes, the multiverse, as people say, and we just happen to be the one which is suitable for carbon-based life. But the other possibility is that maybe there's only one universe, which the way it is, not because it's not any old world, but it's a creation which has been endowed by its creator with the finely tuned laws that will make its history fruitful.
So, God or the multiverse? The biggest problem for the multiverse is that there isn't any evidence for other universes.
In the various ways that are conceived of these many universes existing, it's the case that they are unobservable in principle. The only universe we can observe is this one. These other universes cannot be observed even in principle.
One problem is this. Sure, you could say if there were many different universes, all with different tunings, then it wouldn't be too unlikely that our particularly fine-tuned universe exists. But for this objection to carry through, the objector actually needs to assume that it's true that there are all of these different universes. And is there any independent evidence that such universes exist? It doesn't seem to me the case that there is. I mean, sure, if you had enough monkeys typing at enough typewriters, then they could produce the works of William Shakespeare just by luck. But nobody looks at the work of William Shakespeare and goes, there must be a lot of monkeys with typewriters somewhere. In the absence of independent evidence that there is a whole typing pool of monkeys working away, everyone knows that the most rational explanation of the specified complexity of a text like Shakespeare's work is that there was a single designer who produced it intentionally. And the same thing goes for our universe.
There are some theories of physics which explain our early universe, which imply the existence of many universes. But we've no hard evidence that many universes are there. In order to have the hard evidence, we'd have to pass information from one universe to another, and we don't have that at the moment. So at the moment, that's a philosophical suggestion. It's a metaphysical suggestion for me, rather than being a scientific account.
The multiverse option is a very extravagant suggestion. It postulates the existence of all these trillions and trillions of universe, all unobservable by us, all different in their characters, and so very different that by chance one of them turns out to be okay for carbon-based life. Now that's a very bold speculation, and it's certainly not a scientific theory. It's a metaphysical guess, as we might say. It goes beyond physics into some sort of philosophy, as of course does the idea that the universe is a creation in the same sort of way.
What if tomorrow scientists do discover evidence for a multiverse? Apparently this wouldn't necessarily account for the fine-tuning. Even an infinite number of universes doesn't guarantee that one of them will be just right for us.
Actually, even that wouldn't necessarily solve the fine-tuning problem. Simply by having a large, or indeed an infinite array of universes, you couldn't be sure you'd get one that was right for life. I mean, for example, there are an infinite number of even numbers, but never in that collection will you find a number with the property of oddness. So it's not clear that having an infinite collection means you've got everything you might want.
So does cosmic fine-tuning point towards a creator, a God? For some scientists, this is an unwelcome conclusion. Is this why they prefer to believe in the multiverse, even without any evidence? For John Polkinghorne, the multiverse only explains the fine-tuning, but believing in a creator God explains a range of other things as well.
But I think that the multiverse is, first of all, a very uneconomic assumption to make. And secondly, it seems to me it only does one piece of explanatory work. It explains, or it explains away, the fine-tuning of our universe by saying we're just the winning ticket in the cosmic lottery. But I believe seeing the universe as a divine creation does lots of pieces of explanatory work. It not only explains the fine-tuning, explains why the universe is rationally beautiful with wonderful laws of nature. It explains our widely attested human experience of encounter with the sacred reality of God and so on. So there's a cumulative case for seeing the universe as a creation, which doesn't seem to me to have a counterpart on the multiverse side of the argument.
God or the multiverse? There isn't any evidence for the multiverse, and even if scientists do discover such evidence, it can't necessarily account for the fine-tuning. It seems as if one of the main reasons scientists choose to believe in the multiverse is to avoid having to believe in a creator. On the other hand, our experts agree that cosmic fine-tuning isn't a knockdown proof that God exists, but it is a clear pointer towards God's reality. Belief in such a creator can explain many other aspects of our lives, as well as fine-tuning. When we take it with other kinds of evidence, fine-tuning can form part of a cumulative case for God's reality. We'll come back to this in the final program in this series.